Namaste, my friends, and welcome back to the Pi podcast. What sort of questions are going to come up?
You'll be having variety and range of questions.
Okay, well, what are the key ideas of that? People that can speak multiple languages, and I aspire to be one of those people one day. Am I right? Really shiny? We like to steal things. Well, sorry, I like to steal words. Sorry, yeah. We have words from all over. We have words from all over the world. Don't worry. Okay, moving on to number 5, Rishi.
Paraphrasing.
Paraphrasing. In other words, what are the other words? So can you, what do we mean by paraphrasing?
Ocean has just covered it up. Both of you have discussed
She
it
did,
pretty
yeah.
well. And the only way to source the answer is look for different answers which may look very identical in the question and the passage. That's the best technique to source the answer.
Absolutely. Again, it just helps you with the diversity of your expression and comprehension, learning how to paraphrase. Fantastic.
It also helps you boost your vocabulary because the same word has been written differently in the passage and the question, similar identical word.
I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like English must have one of the biggest lexicons out of all the languages.
Yes,
because I think English, we like to steal things. I like to steal words. Sorry, yeah. We have words from all over. We have words from all over the world.
All over the world.
You've got words from Latin, French, ancient Greek. I think there's even about 200, 300 words from India that are in the language now.
Recently got added.
Just seamlessly added, like pundit, for example. I didn't realize pundit was an Indian word, but that's a very common English word.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, moving on to number 6.
Identifying key ideas and supporting details.
Okay, could you support me with the key ideas of what that means, please?
Okay, so basically this actually helps the student a lot when the student has to attempt true, false, not given or yes, no, not given type of questions, and the MCQs, which is multiple choice questions. Okay. Because for these two categories, the student actually needs to have a very strong understanding of the passage. So for example, the question a question and paragraph having the same statements but just one single word difference, where the question says you can do it and the paragraph says you may do it, actually makes a lot of difference when it comes to giving the answer, right? So in that case, if the student is able to identify the information which is relevant to that particular keyword from the question, then it becomes easier for the student to actually make an educated guess, if I may say so.
Okay, so just being able to get the bigger picture of what something is about will help you with each individual question, no doubt, shouldn't it? Fantastic, thanks Asheen. Okay, moving on to number 7.
We've got logical connections.
Making logical connections, that's kind of similar to the point number 6. What do you mean by that then?
Every passage has its own story and the heading for it. So if the student is able to identify what is the flow of the passage and the sentence the way have been constructed, that will help you bridge the gap by sourcing the answer directly.
Okay, so just be able to find some coherency in the text in itself, and that will help you understand it better. Fantastic. Okay, moving on to number 8.
Predicting answers.
So that's so important. When it comes to anything, when it comes to communication, having a general idea of what's happening requires a bit of anticipation and prediction.
Yes.
How can we best predict answers in a test?
So Nick, the annotation strategy that I just told you about, that actually helps the student understand what could be the answer. So basically what happens is when you read the question, I would say 99% of the times the question itself gives you a hint of the type of answer it is expecting. So let's say the question is about when did the World War II take place. So I know this question is actually looking for an answer which is a number. Right, so if I have annotated the passage in that manner, that all the numbers are highlighted with a different color, because the computer-based test takers do not have the option of square bracketing and underlining. That's just the 3 different color highlights that they have. So if the numbers are in one color and the names are highlighted with a different color, information with a different color, it becomes easy to actually skim and scan through the passage and find that number.
And this is the benefit of knowing what sort of words to look out for. If it's a proper noun, that's going to stand out a lot more as you're reading, hopefully, because you've got capital letters at the start. Numbers obviously stand out a lot more because they're usually a bit bigger than letters.
Yes.
So these things can help you with the prediction.
Yeah, and in fact, for some categories of questions, let's say for true, false, not given or yes, no, not given, the answers are in an order. Right. So if the student has got answer to question number 1, let's say in the second paragraph, he knows that the next answer is going to be below that. He doesn't have to read the first paragraph, right? So there also filtering down the search is actually possible here.
Chronological order,
Yeah.
basically, if you have to define that way.
Yeah, right.
Fantastic. Oh, we're breezing through these.